Hello humanoids, welcome to Halfling Hobbies. I'm Halfling Hannah, and let's talk about loot. So loot is something that you're always going to need to come up with as a DM, and if you're planning out your encounters, then likely you plan out your loot as well. But what happens when your players create encounters that you did not intend for them to create? What about those random encounters? What about when they kill that NPC that you really didn't think they would kill, and they want to loot their body? Or they happen to come across a guard in an alley and so they murder him and want to look through his pockets. What do you do then? Well, you could scramble over to a random loot generator and search through and refresh through until you find something that could work for your campaign. Or you could go the much more fun route and you could pull out a deck of cards. So go ahead, pick a card. Any card, and I'm going to tell you how to use cards for random loot generation in Dungeons and Dragons. Here we go. Alright humanoids, let's get right to it. The first option is the easiest option. All you need is a plain deck of cards and a way to make a chart. This can be physical or this can be on a device, Google Spreadsheets or whatever. I just use Pages most of the time. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a very simple chart. Along the top, you're going to have the suits of the cards. So you're going to have hearts, spades, diamonds, and clubs. Now you want to give each one of these a category, such as spades is weapons, hearts is armor, clubs is consumables, and diamonds is loot and trinkets. Now what you're going to do is you're going to list out all the card numbers and face values along the left side. Now you've created a rather large chart. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through each one of those and you're going to put an idea down. For example, in the spades for number 2, I might put just a simple longbow. But when I get all the way down to the ace of spades, I might put a legendary weapon or at least a rare weapon in that space. Also, don't forget the joker cards in your deck of cards. These two, I make cursed items. Make sure that you make them especially fun because if your players draw these, well, luck really isn't in their favor. So you can see how the loot that you get kind of goes along with the level of the card that you pull. Once you have that table done, whenever you need a random piece of loot, all you have to do is shuffle a deck of cards, hand it to your players and say, go ahead, pick a card. Any card. Your players, whatever card it is that they pick, that is the item that they get on your chart. I really like this way of creating a loot table because it gives your players a part to play as well. Letting them pick a card will get them excited and get them engaged, and everyone will want to know what it is they picked. And oh boy, do they get excited if it's a face card. I also like this because this table will always fit in my game because I made it. If I'm running a low fantasy game, I won't have to worry about a whole bunch of magical items because this is my chart. And that may sound a little controlling, but it helps the game go a lot faster if I know that whatever I roll on that table, I am going to actually use. Also, this table works with any style of DM. If you don't want to write out every single type of thing that the person could get, you simply have them pick a card and then you know, okay, face card clubs. I know this is going to be a rare consumable, so I'll give them a potion of superior healing. And it's that simple. It can help you with your coming up with things on the spot just as much as it can help those of us who need a little more structure. Before we go on to my last two and probably favorite methods of using playing cards in D&D, why don't we head on over to the Tasty Tavern and create a loot-themed drink. Here we go. Hello humanoids, and welcome back to the Tasty Tavern. Today we are going to make a specialty drink specifically for our loot themed video. This drink I like to call All That Glitters. This is an extremely easy cocktail to make. It is absolutely delicious, light and refreshing, and it has some of the coolest glitter swirls ever. So you only need 3 ingredients to make this drink. First of all, you need limoncello. We're going to use 4 ounces of limoncello in our pretty cocktail glass filled with ice. If you have a jigger, it makes this super easy. Use the big side, fill it up twice. Next, we are going to take any variety of sparkling wine. I like to use a sweet Moscato sparkling wine. Fill your glass to the top with that sparkling wine, then give it just a dash of lime juice. You can use fresh lime juice or you can use bottled lime juice. Really doesn't affect the flavor all that much. And then finally, for our secret ingredient to make this All That Glitters, we're going to use both gold and platinum or silver luster dust. Add as much as you want to get the cool, glittering effect the way that you like it. The more you add, the more intense that effect will be. And finally, give it all a good stir. Try not to be too mesmerized by all that glitter. And there you have it, a celebratory cocktail, perhaps after you've just defeated the big bad or found the dragon's hoard. Your local bartender could whip this up for you. But just remember, not all that glitters is gold. Back to the video. All right, now that we're back, I'm going to show you the second option, which requires a little more work but is super fun. The second option is you are going to take a deck of cards, and this time you're going to sort out all of the number cards and the face cards. The number cards you are going to create loot cards with. These loot cards will tell your players exactly how much money they get off a body, any consumables that might be on that body, any trinkets that might be on that body, and anything interesting that they could find. These are super fun because you can just leave a pile of them on the table, and when a player says, "I loot the body," they can simply pull one out of the deck. This allows those sneaky players who don't want other players to know what they looted to be able to hide the information if they want to. And it also allows them to have a physical card in their hand where they can write down all of the information of what they get off that body without taking up everyone else's time at the same time, which is an awesome thing for a DM. One less thing to worry about, no buttons to click, no Google searching, they simply grab and they're done. I love it. It's so helpful. But you're thinking, ugh, I don't have time to make these. I don't even know how you made these. Well, I made these on Canva because I love Canva, even though Canva doesn't pay me anything to love them, but that's all right. I can't be bought, right? So I made these on Canva, and if you know anything about me, you know that I love it, and you also know that I give away the templates that I make for free. So of course, here is your link to go and get the template for loot cards absolutely free. If you still don't want to come up with all of these loot cards, well, you can head on over to Patreon, where you can pick up all the loot cards that I've made, and oh boy, are there a bunch of them. You can pick those up there for as little as $5, which is a heck of a deal considering how long I spent on these. But then you just have to download, print, cut, and paste, and then you have your own loot cards for your table. But what do you do with the face cards, you may be asking? Excellent question. Those face cards are going to become item cards. So item cards are nothing new, and they are, again, super useful. I'm just really cheap, so I've never bought any item cards. I just make them. And you may be asking, well, where can I get art, and where can I get the idea for all those items? Because, well, I just don't have the time to do that. Well, never fear. There are apps for that, after all. Magwa's Magical Items is the app that I use and absolutely adore and highly recommend. I did a full breakdown of it in my 10 apps I absolutely love video. So you can see more about it there, but they have some incredible original art, some great item ideas, and you can even purchase themed bundles as well. So you can add to your collection, which is totally worth it. They are amazing, and I own all of their collections. They're great. So you're going to make some item cards. I literally just screenshot the items that I liked, printed them, and glued them onto the cards. Again, that's from Magwa's. I'm not selling these. You just need to go to Magwa's Magical Items and download that app. So what do you do with these? Well, you set them out on the table at the beginning of the session. Then if there is an encounter, you can tell them, okay, draw 1 loot card and 2 item cards. Then the player simply draws 1 loot card and 2 item cards, and that is what they get from that encounter. How easy and cool is that? It's super interactive for your players, and if they get an item that they absolutely love, then they can stick it in their binder and they have it forever. Not just little scribbly notes where maybe they didn't get all of the item's properties down. They can stick this in their binder and keep it and remember that they have it. The last little thing that I love to do with my players is I have a special deck of cards. This one is all shiny and has gold on it. And when my players get a legendary item, I pull out this deck of cards and I make a big deal of opening it and letting the players choose 1 legendary item card. They look different, they even feel different because they're a really nice set of cards and I kind of feel bad gluing things on them, but my players get so excited if they get to pull from this deck of cards. The very last one is if you want professional, perfect, custom loot and item cards, then you can actually create your own on websites just like this. So you can upload your art, you can upload your items and all of that, and make your own deck of playing cards. Have it professionally printed and shipped right to your door. These are not affiliate links. I don't have anything to do with it other than that I didn't know you could do this and I think it's really stinking cool. So if you want your very own deck of cards that is printed and gorgeous and not just Mod Podged on like mine are, then they're a bit of a mess, but that's okay. None of my players care. If you want to really impress your players, then print your own custom deck of cards for that. I guarantee that they will go nuts over it. So I want to ask, what do you do for random loot? Do you use playing cards? Do you simply roll dice? Or do you come up with it at the top of your head? Do you have an app that you love, like my Magwa's Magical Items? Leave all of that in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. I would also really enjoy it if I got a like and a subscribe from you. And if you really want to give me magical powers, you could consider becoming my patron over on Patreon. Until next time, my friends, may your game have advantage. Halfling Hannah here, signing out.